By now, you've seen the final score. You've watched the highlights. You've heard the takes. And if you're a Georgia fan, you've probably heard this one before. They didn't lose. They just didn't win. But tonight isn't about what happened. It's about what should have. Because this game wasn't decided by talent. It wasn't decided by depth. And it definitely wasn't decided by heart. It was decided by intent. Ole Miss came to the Sugar Bowl playing to win. Georgia came playing not to lose. And when you do that against elite competition, the margin disappears. This is the version where the Bulldogs don't wait. They don't protect. They don't manage the moment. They attack it. Fourth downs are chances, not threats. Tempo is a weapon, and aggression isn't reckless. It's required. Because championships don't belong to the careful. They belong to the teams willing to apply pressure until something breaks. Tonight, we played a game Kirby Smart could have unleashed, not the one he tried to survive with. Georgia versus Ole Miss, the Sugar Bowl. This is the CFP that had to be played. Episode 4. We are sending you now to New Orleans, Louisiana for the kickoff from Caesars Superdome with Frankie, the Horn.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the Far End of the Bench YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed. As Jimmy just said, I am Frankie, the Horn Calderon. This is the CFP that had to be played. Episode 4, our final quarterfinal matchup between the SEC champion Georgia Bulldogs and the now Keith Golding-led Ole Miss Rebels. The Lane Kiffin saga is over. You have one of the most solid and steadfast cultures in college football coming from Athens, North Georgia, and they are meeting what is now one of the most volatile situations in the country. Trinidad Chambliss and the Ole Miss Rebels, transfer quarterback that started in the Division II level, Ferris State, won a Division II national championship, started this season as the backup. Lane Kiffin inserted him in the Kentucky game, and the rest is history. These two teams have met once before this season. It was back in October. Ole Miss losing a lead late to the Bulldogs in what became the linchpin of the Georgia Bulldogs run all the way through the SEC championship 21 days ago against Alabama. This being our final matchup, we have 3/4 of our semifinal set. Oregon will be rematching against Indiana. The winner of this contest moving forward to play the number 2 seeded Ohio State Buckeyes after dominating the Miami Hurricanes in this series. Opening kickoff brought back to the 20-yard line. Gunnar Stockton in his junior season leading this Bulldogs offense with Nate Frazier in the backfield. They will get set to go with about 80 yards in front of them. Georgia started slow in October, but by the end of the game they were able to do basically whatever they wanted against this Rebels defense. Pete Golding, now head coach of Ole Miss, wants to avoid that from happening, slow them down, and make them kick the football back to the offense. First handoff of the game, Nate Frazier takes that one forward for a gain of 5. First down is good, and now second down and 5 for the Bulldogs. Shotgun play, Frazier once again handoff out of the backfield. That one goes forward for just a gain of 2 yards on the play. Now Stockton will look for a first third down conversion of the contest. Throwing off the RPO action, that one complete to Zachariah Branch on the screen play. Branch good for a gain of 15. Offensive lineman goes down for Georgia, but they are moving the chains forward towards midfield. Ole Miss expecting run on that third down and short. Gunnar Stockton runs the RPO to perfection, and now throwing once again. That one going back to Branch. He breaks the tackle along the sidelines. Juke move back at the 35 and almost down to the 30. Transfer receiver from USC, one of the few transfers on this offense for Georgia. Kirby Smart likes to keep his guys around. Gunnar Stockton been in the program for 3 years. This is his second season as the starting quarterback for Georgia after coming in relief of Carson Beck a year ago. Handoff for Frazier, that one good for a gain of 10 yards on the play. First down, and Georgia continues to move on towards their end zone. Play action out of the shotgun. Gunnar Stockton firing to Branch. Finds the hole in the zone, and that one caught right before going out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Ole Miss is reeling, trying to find some sort of answer. Gunnar Stockton under center. He's going to hand off. Frazier powers his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Sickle. It was a clean, efficient drive from the SEC champions, and it finishes with 6 points on the scoreboard. Coming out and attacking right away. Extra point up and good. 7 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes, 20 seconds on that scoring drive, brought to you by the Far End of the Bench podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned in for new episodes, as well as the semifinal matchup from this series coming your way in just about 5 days. Kickoff into the end zone. We're going to get a touchback, and now Trinidad Chambliss, transfer from Ferris State. Now without a head coach, Lane Kiffin leaves for LSU, and now Pete Golding trying to honor this team, not in a situation that he was looking for. He was not one of the coordinators trying to move up the ranks. He wanted to stay on and try and help this team move forward in this playoff series. That is Kawan Alexander, who had a huge first-round matchup against Tulane. He's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Georgia playing tough on first down. 2nd and 10 upcoming. Tight end lined up to the right side. We have a flag on the play. First penalty of the contest, and it looks like it's going to be against Georgia for lining up in the neutral zone. Play was stopped for no gain, but that is going to move the ball forward 5 anyways. 2nd down and 5. C.J. Allen makes the last tackle. Chambliss in the shotgun. Play action. Now goes to the outside. He overshoots his receiver. Fires it into the Georgia sideline, and now brings up 3rd down and 5 on this first offensive series for the Rebels. Georgia showing pressure and press coverage. Chambliss finds the opening. Slot receiver there, good for a first down, gain of 5 yards, and Ole Miss going to kick it into a hyperdrive mode. Try and keep this Georgia set on the field. Shotgun formation, Alexander to the left of Chambliss. 3 receivers now lined up to the right side following the motion. Throwing to his running back out of the backfield, Alexander, gain of 8. And Ole Miss going to jump right back on the football and keep Georgia in this formation. Chambliss in the gun. Play action. Moves his feet, finds a receiver. Good completion over the middle, past midfield, into Bulldog territory, all the way down to the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 there from the Rebels. Chambliss in the gun, goes deep to the end zone. Knocked away, almost intercepted. Ole Miss still going to go in that no-huddle series. Georgia showed heavy pressure on the last play. 2nd down and 10. Play action, quick pass over the middle, complete for a gain of 3. And the Rebels back on the football now. Single receiver lined up to the left side. Big 3rd down on this one. Chambliss firing out of the backfield. Alexander gets the catch, breaks the tackle at the 20. And he spins his way down inside the 20 to the 19. 2 3rd down conversions by this Rebels offense, and they're moving forward inside the red zone now on their opening possession. Heading towards their end zone, painted Ole Miss in the blue in front of them. Under 2 minutes, Chambliss on the read option. He's going to keep it, and he's brought down in the backfield. And Chambliss is slow to get up on that one. He's going to head to the sideline. We'll keep an eye on what's going on there. Backup quarterback now into the game for the Rebels. Loss of 4 on the previous play. 2nd down and 14. Pressure under, and it is a sack on the play. Back-to-back big movements from this defense. Moodsey on that one gets his first sack of the day. Loss of 5 on the play. 3rd down and 19. Bulldog Nation starting to bow up. Screen play goes to Alexander, and he's going to get some yardage back, put him in a better position for a field goal. Trinidad Chambliss in the medical tent for back spasms on the sideline. Does look like he's going to be able to return in this one, but right now Rebels trying to get something on the board. Field goal is up and good from a 37-yard distance, and the Rebels make it a 4-point game with 30 seconds left to go in the opening quarter. Kickoff will land at the 5 for Zachariah Branch, who's going to bring it out for the Bulldogs. Cut move there at the 20, and he's going to fight his way forward to the 23, right at the Allstate logo on the field. Efficient drive from the Bulldogs. Kirby Smart sending his junior quarterback Gunnar Stockton back out onto the field. He's going to be under center, 2 tight ends in the formation. Bunch to the right. Zachariah Branch, single receiver left. Handoff, fake to Nate Frazier. It's going to go to him out of the backfield in space. And he gets a gain of 13. First down for the Bulldogs moving forward. In the pistol now, handoff Frazier out of the backfield. Gain of 4 on the play, and that is going to be the last of the first quarter. SEC champion Georgia coming off their bye, 75 yards passing, 22 yards on the ground. Both teams with 3 minutes total time of possession. Trinidad Chambliss goes down with injury at the end of that opening drive from the Rebels. Only able to come away with 3 points in Georgia. Gunnar Stockton and Nate Frazier and Zachariah Branch leading this team on offense. Pass goes to the left side on the stop route. Gain of 8, and that is going to be just short of first down yardage. Stockton starting the day off 5 for 5 in this quarterfinal contest. 3rd and inches, handoff. Nate Frazier stuffed in the backfield. This Ole Miss defense coming up big when it counts. Georgia is going to elect to punt and play defense. Big punt this time is going to bounce at the 4 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Ole Miss still without Trinidad Chambliss, going to get set up to go at the 20-yard line. Trips formation now to the left side. Handoff goes to Alexander. He's brought down after a gain of 4 with the shotgun run. 2nd down and 6. Charlie Weiss Jr. trying to figure out a way to move forward without Trinidad Chambliss. Handoff once again to Alexander, and this one's stuffed in the backfield. Braylon Wilson, his 3rd tackle of the day. Brings up 3rd down and 7. The Dogs defense is barking. Pass under pressure, sacked once again, 3rd down. Jordan Hill, number 44, is going to get his first sack of this quarterfinal playoff round. 4th and 14, the Rebels going to punt the ball back to the Bulldogs after a 3 and out. Branch on the punt return. He's able to get his way forward to the 40-yard line, and Gunnar Stockton will bring his offense for the Bulldogs back onto the field. Delp lined up as a tight end on the right side. Handoff. Stockton, play action. Goes deep, fires over the middle, complete at the 20-yard line. First down, Georgia, on the outskirts of the red zone. Stockton now 6 of 6, 111 yards passing in the first half. 3 receivers to the right. Branch lined up, single receiver left side. That one crossing route over right at the line of scrimmage, and that's where it's going to get stuffed. 2nd down and 10 now for the Bulldogs, trying to add to their lead. Stockton on the read option. He's going to keep it, find a big hole up the middle of the field. Nearly brought that one into the end zone. He's going to be stopped right down at the 1-yard line. 20 yards on the run. And now Stockton with his Bulldogs offense threatening once again. Shotgun formation from the 1. Nate Frazier into the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Extra point oncoming will make it an 11-point game. We'll see if Trinidad Chambliss checks back in for the Rebels. Still have yet to see him after going out with an injury. The defense gets a 3 and out on their last series, and the offense turns in a 4-play, 50-yard, minute 35 scoring drive. Brought to you by the Far End of the Bench podcast here, episode 4. Rise of the Roadrunners presents the CFP that had to be played. My name is Frankie the Horn Calderon, and we are watching great action between these two SEC juggernauts. Ole Miss entering as the 6th seed, beat Tulane in the first round at home. Trying now in the neutral site to get something going. Screen play goes to the left side. That one good for a gain of 9. And Ole Miss going to get back on the football. Trinidad Chambliss back into the game. He's moving his offense forward, moving in front of him from the left hash mark. Another long screen pass. That one good for no gain, and this is going to be the final play before the upcoming 2-minute timeout. And we'll send both these teams to halftime. Chambliss will get the snap off. Handoff goes up the middle. Good for a Rebel first down, and that is going to stop the clock with 1:58 left to go. Bulldog defense with 2 sacks on the day, 158 and counting after this snap. 2-minute situation, handoff goes to Alexander. He finds a big hole in the right of that defense. Gain of 12, first down, and the Rebels are jumping back on the football. In the shotgun with double twins to both sides, Chambliss buying time. He goes to Alexander out of the backfield. Gain of 6, and now second down and 4 with 1:40 and counting left to go in this first half. Chambliss will get the snap. He's throwing once again. That one goes to the outside along his sideline. Receiver does a good job of getting out of bounds, getting the first down, and 1:30 left to go right about midfield for the Rebels. Trailing by 11 to the SEC champion. Handoff to Alexander. That one brought down in the backfield, and the Rebels are going to take their first timeout. Still trying to get the running game going, -3 yards total on the day. 1:26 on the snap, play action, and that is an overthrow into the Georgia bench. Chambliss still showing effects of that injury from earlier on in this contest. 9 of 12 for 77 yards in this game. Snap to Chambliss, throwing, finds an open receiver. Ball is out. Nobody's able to get on top of it, and it's going to get kicked out of bounds. 4th down and 7. So that is another stop for this Georgia defense, and Gunnar Stockton will have 3 timeouts and plenty of time to try and put another score in on this one. Travis Scott blasting through the speakers here in New Orleans, the Sugar Bowl crowd, looking to see what the SEC champion has in store. Pass trying to find Delp over the middle, and it's good for a first down. Stockton fit that one into a tight window. 8 of 8 passing, and now the junior quarterback looking to throw again. That one complete to the outside. Nice diving catch there. First down and 10. Clock will continue to run. Georgia going to keep their timeouts, holding on to them right now. Frazier handoff up the middle, and that is going to be a gain of 1 yard. 25 and counting here. Trips formation to the left side. Stockton play action. He's going to throw. Finds Zachariah Branch wide open along the sideline. He's going to break a tackle, get past the pylon. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Woo-woo-woo. Gunnar Stockton with his first passing touchdown of this quarterfinal. The Bulldogs able to strike quickly. 4 plays, 62 yards in 55 seconds. Scoring drive brought to you by the Far End of the Bench podcast at FEOTB Pod. Make sure you're following and subscribed for all of the content that we have moving forward into 2026. And with that touchback, we want to wish you a happy new year. Chambliss not into the game, so it looks like we're going to see the backup quarterback for the remainder of this one. Alexander will get the handoff here. 20 seconds left to go in the first half, and the Rebels, after the big gain, are going to call a timeout, see what they have in store here. 1 timeout remaining, 12 seconds. We're going to get a shotgun formation. Left-handed quarterback into the game now for Chambliss. That pass in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Raylan Wilson, breaks up the connection. 9 seconds left to go before halftime here from the 45-yard line. Ole Miss going to throw under pressure. That is going to be a sack on the play, and Ole Miss is going to call their final timeout. Christian Miller, number 52, gets his first sack of this contest. 3rd down and 17 for this Georgia defense. Kirby Smart playing an aggressive style ball game here. Under pressure once again. He's going to get forward for a gain of 1, and that is going to be the end of our first half. The Georgia Bulldogs leading by 17, 21-3. Zachariah Branch, 4 catches on the day, almost 100 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. Gunnar Stockton, completely perfection in passing in that first half. Nate Frazier, a couple of rushing touchdowns right in on the doorstep of the goal line. Ole Miss had a solid opening possession, but since then Trinidad Chambliss out of the game with an injury. Quan Alexander and the rest of this Rebels offense trying to do what they can, but when you lose your starting quarterback and you lost your head coach to weeks ago. There is a lot moving against this Ole Miss program. Hopefully Pete Golding can settle things down and we get a competitive second half. Ole Miss will receive the start, and that kickoff return going to be brought down right at the 10-yard line. Georgia still buzzing. Kirby Smart not wanting to let anything up and leave anything to chance. Most teams with the bye, as we get a sack here on the first play of the second half, most teams with the bye so far have been unsuccessful. Indiana able to stave off Alabama. Ohio State in this series stunted Miami in our opening quarterfinal matchup, and Georgia trying to be the third out of 4 teams this season to get the opening round bye and move into the semifinals. They would play the 2-seeded Buckeyes in a rematch of semifinal from a few years ago. Running play good for a gain of 3, and now we get a screen pass on third down. Receiver makes a catch and a man miss. Caden Lee on the reception. It's good for a gain of 4, and that's going to bring up 4th down and 10. The Rebels will be punting from their own end zone back to the Georgia offense, who is very efficient. Gunnar Stockton looking to add to this big lead. Bulldogs from the 50, Zachariah Branch on the punt return. He makes a man miss and gets a punt return back to the 40-yard line, so a gain of 10. Delp in a wing formation, play action, 3 receivers in the formation. Stockton under pressure, and he's going to be sacked for the first time today. Jamarius Brown, number 96, is going to get into the backfield, and the Rebels defense trying to see if they can get a little bit of a rally going here. 2nd down and 17. Over the middle, Branch will make the catch. Stockton gets a lot of that yardage back, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and manageable. And the Rebels looking to get a big stop in this one. Only one series has ended without scoring for this Bulldogs team, and right now they get a pass good enough for a 1st down. That is Thomas on the reception. Stockton keeps this drive alive. Now 1st down and 10 from the 30. Frazier's going to get the handoff out of the backfield, move forward for a gain of 2. 2 touchdowns, 22 yards on 9 carries for Nate Frazier. Under 3 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Frazier's going to get the handoff again. That one good for another gain of 2. That'll bring up 3rd down and 6. Second 3rd down attempt of this series. Stockton to throw. Firing to the outside. Branch makes the catch at the 10-yard line. Transfer portal paying off here in this one. Zachariah Branch over 100 yards receiving on the day. Now Frazier gets the handoff. He finds opening in the middle. Follows his tackle into the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Sickle. Ole Miss unable to find any response to this Georgia offensive attack, both at the end of the game in October and now into this one. 28-3 our score. 1:35 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Ole Miss is going to get this kickoff return from the end zone, past the 10-yard line, cuts at the 14, and that is where he's going to be brought down. Kirby Smart's team still attacking, trying to send themselves into the semifinal round for the first time in 2 seasons. Big play action fake here. We're going to get a screen pass to the tight end. It's good for a gain of 7. Austin Simmons into the game at quarterback. He's able to get his offense moving forward. 2nd down and 3 with about a minute left to go in the 3rd quarter. Simmons handoff here going to the right side. That one stuffed up after a gain of 1. Bulldogs front 7 really holding stout against this running attack. 4 sacks on the day as well. Simmons is going to be lined up in the pistol with Alexander behind him. Bunch formation on the right side. Handoff to Alexander. He's going to be brought down in the backfield. Georgia's defense. C.J. Allen reading that one perfectly. 4th down and 3 upcoming. And Ole Miss is going to punt the ball back to Georgia to start this 4th quarter. Branch from his 34 makes a man miss. Now at the midfield stripe. Just about. Comes up just short at the 46. 3 quarters have been played. Georgia holding solid in this one. Gunnar Stockton And this Georgia offense, 28 points, and their defense holding to Ole Miss to just 3. And now we're getting set for the fourth quarter of action here on the Far End of the Bench YouTube channel, the CFP that had to be played. Semifinal matchups coming your way in about 5 days. We have Indiana versus Oregon, and what looks like Georgia versus Ole Miss is going to be a big blowout here. Georgia, pass play goes to Grant Delp to start the fourth quarter. And that is a big seam pass touchdown. Gunnar Stockton, his second touchdown pass of the day. Georgia going to be moving on to play Ohio State if their defense can hold serve here in the fourth quarter. Their offense has been sharp. What a play. Gunnar Stockton, 14 of 14 in this game, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns. People were saying Trinidad Chambliss was going to be the advantage in this one. He gets hurt early in the first quarter, and now since then, Ole Miss unable to do anything offensively, and Georgia putting together a masterful performance. Kirby Smart's got to be happy with this one, as his team gets prepared now to finish out this quarter and then meet the number 2 seed, Big Ten runner-up Ohio State Buckeyes in the semifinals. Handoff goes to Alexander. He fights his way forward for a gain of 3. And we've been calling him the wrong name the entire time. Kawan Lacey, the running back for the Ole Miss Rebels, gets the play action fake here, and now backup running back stuffed by C.J. Allen after a gain of 1. Rebels on 3rd and 9. Gonna throw here, going to the right side, complete. And that is going to be no gain on the play. Raylan Wilson in his pass coverage allows the receiver to make the catch. 4th down conversion attempt upcoming, as Golding trying to make his last-ditch effort here from inside his own 30. Under heavy pressure, Lacey out of the backfield, and he's going to be brought down into the Ole Miss sideline. Looks like we're getting a challenge from Ole Miss and Pete Golding. They're going to challenge where the spot of the out-of-bounds went, so that Georgia may have a little bit farther to go. Got to imagine that Kirby Smart and Gunnar Stockton, this Georgia offense, wants to put one more into the end zone and see what happens from here. 3 receivers to the right side of the formation for the Bulldogs. Handoff to Frazier up the middle. He finds a lot of space. Pass first down yardage inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 1st and 10, 35-3 our score. Delp goes in motion. Stockton gonna throw here. Screen pass to the left side. Gain of 9 on the play. 15 passing attempts, 15 completions for the junior quarterback Gunnar Stockton on this one. Handoff now, Frazier to the right side. He's nearly into the end zone, but he's going to get stopped right at the goal line. Almost into the end zone for his 4th touchdown. Georgia lining up under center. Heavy personnel in. Frazier, handoff, touchdown, Bulldogs! "41 points from this Georgia offense. Their defense doing a great job holding one of the most explosive units in the country to only 3 points on the day. They are starting the celebration train in North Georgia. And in Oxford, they can be proud of what this team did in the first round, overcoming that loss of Lane Kiffin right before the playoff. The most successful season in program history, 11 victories in the regular season, 12 on the season total after that first round win over Tulane. Unfortunately, the SEC champion too much in this one, as we're going to get a kickoff about 4 yards deep into the end zone, and that is where Ole Miss will get set up for a touchback. The Rebels have 3 timeouts here remaining if they choose to use them. 2:20 left to go in the fourth quarter. Play action, quarterback under pressure, and that is going to be a sack on the play. 6 sack of the day for this defensive unit, and that is going to be a heavy point of emphasis as Ohio State's offensive line able to hold up against Miami's pass rush, Jordan Hall. And this Georgia unit, not necessarily great pass rushing on the season, but they have been stout in this contest. Getting after both quarterbacks here is now 2-minute timeout, 2nd down and 15 upcoming. Play action going deep to the left sideline. Nice catch. Had to turn back in, keeps a foot in bounds. Austin Simmons, 7 of 8 passing on the day for 42 yards. No turnovers from this Ole Miss offense except for on downs. Now handoff on the draw play, spin move there, breaks a couple of tackles, and he's brought down after a gain of 9. That's Logan Diggs, number 22. Senior running back making his final appearance in the Ole Miss Rebels colors. And now we're going to get a pitch play here. Open space in cross midfield, inside the 35 down to the 32-yard line on the run play. As we saw in our previous episode, Ole Miss trying to make this a little bit more respectable, as did Texas Tech against Oregon. Simmons completes the pass there for a gain of 8. 2nd down and 2 upcoming. 1:08 left to go in this game. 2 running backs in the backfield. Handoff goes behind the quarterback there, and that is going to be a loss of 8. Zion Branch into the backfield for the Bulldogs to make the play. Handoff here goes to the left side. Good play there. Broken tackle in the open field. Now ball loose on the ground, but Ole Miss doing a good job of chasing the play, able to recover and maintain possession. Big running play inside the 10, all the way down to the 6-yard line. And a couple plays here will finish it on a goal line stand. Handoff once again. That one stuffed in the backfield. And Ole Miss has the ability to stop the clock, but they will not. That is going to be the final play of this quarterfinal round. The SEC champion Georgia Bulldogs are the All-State Sugar Bowl champions as well. They move forward in this universe to play the Ohio State Buckeyes in the semifinal round. Thank you very much for tuning into this quarterfinal weekend here on the Far End of the Bench YouTube channel. If you are just joining us, make sure that you are subscribed. Check out the new episodes every Thursday with Jimmy Pilato and Nico Bryant. We are going to send it back to the studio here after a few highlights. We appreciate everybody tuning in through this round. Like we said, my name is Frankie the Horn Calderon. For everybody here at the Rise of the Roadrunners Productions Far End of the Bench YouTube channel, make sure you are subscribed at FEOTB Pod. Let's send it back to the studio with Jimmy Pilato and wrap things up.
(42-3). That's not a win. That's a statement. Because once this game started, it was clear. This wasn't about survival. This was about assertion. Georgia came out aggressive, not careful, not conservative, not trying to manage the moment. They came to end it, and early on, Ole Miss was forced into damage control. When Trinidad Chambliss went down, the energy shifted immediately. The pressure mounted, the rotation thinned, and the Rebels simply ran out of answers. From that point on, this game was played on Georgia's terms. The Bulldogs attacked on early downs, they punished mistakes, they turned field position into points and never let Ole Miss reset. This wasn't about trickery. This wasn't about flash. This was a team deciding we're better and we're going to prove it. Ole Miss fought early, but without Chambliss, the resistance faded, drives stalled, tempo slowed, and eventually the tank was empty. Meanwhile, Georgia never took its foot off the gas. This version of Georgia, everyone feared. That one doesn't play the clock. This one doesn't play safe. This one buries games before halftime and never looks back. 42-3 doesn't happen by accident. It happens when preparation meets intent. Tonight wasn't about Ole Miss and what they failed to do. This was about what Georgia finally chose to do. They didn't play not to lose. They played to dominate. And in this universe, that's what a championship team looks like. Georgia moves on, and Ole Miss runs out of steam. The Sugar Bowl ends the only way it ever could. We will see you guys in 5 days for the semifinal matchups, Indiana versus Oregon and Ohio State versus Georgia here on the Far End of the Bench YouTube channel. We will see you guys next time.
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.